Back in 1923, a plumber working in a Mississippi home made a discovery that shocked the local authorities and eventually made national news. What he found behind a false wall in the basement wasn't a structural problem or bad piping. It was a child, a 7-year-old girl who had spent years locked away in the dark. Today, we're looking at the case of Mary Alexia, as reported by the Washington Times on July 7th, 1923. The story starts in Tupelo, Mississippi. A little girl born with a twisted leg was hidden away by her parents almost from the moment she could walk. Between the ages of 3 and 7, she lived in a makeshift dungeon beneath the family home. No sunlight, no human contact, no voice in her life except her own cries, which eventually fell silent. The only reason anyone discovered her was pure luck. A plumber had been called out by the property owners, people who had no idea a child was trapped underneath their house. While working, the plumber noticed something odd. The basement didn't line up with the exterior of the house. It was smaller than it should have been. At the same time, he kept hearing faint, unplaceable noises. Not pipes, not animals, something else. He cleared away boxes and junk stacked against a wall and found a concealed door. Through a narrow opening, he shined his flashlight and saw a child crouched in the corner, emaciated, covered in grime, and nearly blind from years in the dark. The plumber backed out immediately and called for help. Mary Alexia was taken to St. Joseph's Hospital. She was almost entirely blind, unable to stand, and unable to speak. Doctors believed her vocal cords had simply stopped functioning, either from lack of use or from years of terrified screaming in the dark. For months she hovered between life and death. The authorities refused to release the parents' names, claiming it was out of pity for the girl, but locals wanted justice. They wanted answers. They wanted accountability for what was done to a child who had no one to protect her. Hospital staff tried to restore her health, but the damage had been done. She could not speak, and she remained a charity patient, bedridden, with no real chance of returning to anything close to a normal life. This case is one of those grim stories from the 20th century that reminds us that many tragedies went unseen. There were no social services back then. There were no welfare checks. Just whatever happened behind closed doors and the rare moments when chance revealed the truth. So, if you'd like to read the original article from 1923, the full text is posted to strangergo.com. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and keep looking into the past. There's always more to uncover.